This is the end of the beginning. Welcome to today's show. A very interesting video clip has come out from Jamie Foxx. Now, some of you may remember about a month ago, I did a video about Jamie Foxx discussing the fact that Jamie Foxx could very well be cloned, but I did the video not so much to stir up a conspiracy theory, wink, wink, about Jamie Foxx, as much as I wanted to show people video clips from our own president of the United States, Bill Clinton, in the 90s, talking about how they had the ability to human clone even then. So I was trying to use this whole notion that we have as a society that things like this are crazy conspiracies when in fact they are real and they're really happening. Now, you might say, why would they clone somebody like Jamie Foxx? Well, all the influencers end up getting cloned, just like a lot of the politicians do. And Jamie Foxx, mysteriously, over the last 2 months, as most people heard, has been suffering from an ailment. I don't know what in the world could have given him any kind of an ailment, but one of the notions that came up is that he was replaced because of what occurred, that he got really sick and then recovered. Well, I'm going to play this clip here where it's so unbelievable just looking at Jamie Foxx, because it looks like he's not the same skin color. But on top of all that, Jamie Foxx even brings attention to the fact that people are claiming that he's cloned. You can't make it up. Deflection 101. Take a look.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's prayed, man, and sent me messages. I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way. And y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these. Now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. Said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. But I did go through, I went to hell and back. And my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back, and I'm able to work. So I want to thank the people that let me work. And I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love all of the love that I got. And man, I know they talk about people crying on videos. You could do take two, but I'm not gonna do a take two. It is what it is. And if you see me out from now on, and every once in a while I just burst into tears, is because it's been tough, man. I was sick, man, but now I got my legs under me, so you're gonna see me out. But like I said, I just want you to remember me for the jokes that I crack, the movies that I make. Some of them good, some of them ain't. I think I got a good one out. And the songs that I sing, man. And then, some people were talking about I'm cloned. Well, check this out. Just kidding you. Not cloned, man, but I'm here on earth because of some great people. I'm here on earth because of God, man. So I love all y'all. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm on my way back in love.
So what's really interesting to note is when you look at these things, you can look and you could observe and you could say this person doesn't look the same as they used to look. And obviously something like skin color and complexion is a very serious thing. But I think what's most interesting is when we play a game of Connect the Dots is how Jamie Foxx just had a movie released on July 21st, right around when he released this video, which was actually about human cloning. But isn't it very interesting how Jamie Foxx has just reemerged out of nowhere at a time where he's coming out with this They Clone Tyrone movie? How Jamie Foxx suddenly got very, very sick. And the fact that Jamie Foxx is even bringing attention to the notion that people out there believe that he's cloned. I mean, to me, that's all what you call, well, not a coincidence. So I'm doing this video to show you once again, I want to play these clips for you because cloning is a real thing. And I want to play the clip, of course, when Bill Clinton and Al Gore were talking about human cloning and, of course, the ethics behind human cloning, because it's an ethical question that they want to let us know. It's a thing of ethics. We need to be very concerned about what could be done about human cloning, and we need to monitor it because it could be dangerous. So you take that into account when you have probably the most dangerous government in the history of the world currently in power in the United States of America, both Republican and Democrat. You have literally psychopaths who are in power, who are recommending and, in fact, embracing and, in fact, telling parents to castrate their children, which, of course, is an occult ritual, which I discussed over on the website. But take a listen here to Bill talking about this and, of course, talking about the ethical concerns.
Because we all realize we must strive to find the sometimes delicate but always crucial balance between our unending search for knowledge and doing what is safe and morally right. Ever since scientists in Scotland successfully cloned a sheep, an adult sheep, in February, the President and those of us who work with him, along with the rest of the nation, have grappled with the meaning and significance of the discovery, and the meaning and significance, of course, of the many scientific, safety, ethical, and religious implications presented by the question of the prospective possibility of cloning of human beings. No one, however, has deliberated more on this issue than the men and women who are responsible for the report being delivered today to President Clinton, the members of the National Bioethics Advisory Commission. Over the last 3 months, they worked on an extremely complex issue at an extremely fast pace.
As the Vice President has said, and all of us know, we live in an era of breathtaking scientific discovery. More and more, our future in the world depends upon advances in science and technology, and more the scientific community will influence the course of the future and the lives that our children will lead in the new century that is upon us. As I said in my commencement address at Morgan State University last month, our scientific explorations must be guided by our commitment to human values, to the good of society, to our basic sense of right and wrong. Nothing makes the necessity of that moral obligation more clear than the troubling possibility that these new animal cloning techniques could be used to create a child. That is why I acted in March to ban the use of federal funds for cloning human beings and to urge the private sector to observe the ban voluntarily while we initiated a national dialogue on the risks and the responsibilities of such a possibility, and why I asked this commission to issue this report. For 3 months, the Commission has rigorously explored the scientific, moral, and spiritual dimensions of human cloning. It has talked to leading scientists and religious leaders, to philosophers and families, to patient advocates, and to the general public. From many opinions and beliefs, as Dr. Shapiro said, one unanimous conclusion has emerged. Attempting to clone a human being is unacceptably dangerous to the child and morally unacceptable to our society. I believe strongly that this conclusion reflects a national consensus, and I believe personally that it is the right thing to do. Today, I am sending legislation to the Congress that prohibits anyone in either public or private sectors from using these techniques to create a child. Until the day I sign the legislation into law, the ban on federal funding I declared in March will remain in effect. And once again, I call upon the private sector to refrain voluntarily from using this technology to attempt to clone a human being. I want to make clear that there is nothing inherently immoral or wrong with these new techniques used for proper purposes. In fact, they hold the promise of revolutionary new medical treatments and life-saving cures to diseases like cystic fibrosis, diabetes, and cancer, to better crops and stronger livestock. This legislation, therefore, will not prohibit the use of these techniques to clone DNA in cells, and it will not ban the cloning of animals. What the legislation will do is to reaffirm our most cherished belief about the miracle of human life and the God-given individuality each person possesses. It will ensure that we do not fall prey to the temptation to replicate ourselves at the expense of those beliefs and the lives of innocent children we would produce. Finally, the legislation will ensure that we continue the national dialogue we began 3 months ago and will provide the nation and the Congress another opportunity to take a look at this issue in 5 years. To make sure that all our voices are heard as we explore human cloning, the legislation specifically requires the National Bioethics Advisory Commission to continue its study and report back in 4.5 years. At that time, we will decide how to proceed based on what has been accomplished and agreed upon and debated and discovered in the intervening period. Banning human cloning reflects our humanity. It is the right thing to do. Creating a child through this new method calls into question our most fundamental beliefs. It has the potential to threaten the sacred family bonds at the very core of our ideals and our society. At its worst, it could lead to misguided and malevolent attempts to select certain traits, even to create certain kinds of children, to make our children objects rather than cherished individuals. We are still a long way from understanding all the implications of the present discoveries, but it is our moral obligation to confront these issues as they arise, and to act now to prevent abuse. Today, I hope other countries will see what we are doing and do the same, and I pledge to work with them to enforce similar bans around the world that reflect these values. Once again, let me say a heartfelt thank you on behalf of our entire nation to the National Bioethics Advisory Commission for the remarkable work you have done and the work you have agreed to continue doing in the coming years.
So, what people need to understand is that it's not a crazy conspiracy theory to even bring attention to cloning because it's a real thing, right? Now, some people were saying that Jamie Foxx might not even be cloned, that he might be artificial intelligence. Now, that seemed to upset Ice-T, a rapper named Ice-T. Nothing to do with the drink, apparently, but this rapper thought it was all crazy conspiracy cuckoo. I'm guessing he's either very defensive of his friend or he was told, hey, don't let people catch on to this, notion that our government has the ability to clone, and they've openly admitted it. Or are you going to take that footage of Bill Clinton and tell me that it's not real? I mean, that was over 30 years ago, okay? 30 years. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the capabilities they have now with cloning? I mean, look at how far we've come with CGI and deepfakes in the last decade or so. So the amount of technology, keeping a lot of these guys, I feel like when they do clone, and again, it's not a conspiracy theory. You could look at these guys and you could say, oh, he's not cloned, he looks like the same guy, or he doesn't. That's fine. That's fine to have as a debate. I mean, if it's something you're interested in debating. The reason for me covering it is to bring awareness that cloning is real. So when they do stuff like this, then they laugh it off, and then they have all these conspiracy movies about cloning. And you have the president of the United States admitting to cloning and how we need to be careful with cloning. We also had other countries. I remember there was a video I did with 60 Minutes involved where they're talking about cloning babies and et cetera. So they have the ability to do it. So that's the thing that people need to understand. It's not a crazy conspiracy. Okay, it sounds like something cuckoo when you start talking about celebrities and are they cloned and are they not. But if you start looking at it and saying, well, they do have the technology to do it, so why would they do it? Well, for lots of reasons, of course. So these people could be in two places at once. These people serve a very large purpose in our society. They don't put all this time and effort into making these people big stars. I mean, Jamie Foxx did win an Oscar for a movie he was in, I believe, about Ray Charles. They don't put all that time and effort into building up a large fan base behind these people just to let them go naturally die on their own. They need them. They use them as influencers. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort to have these people out in society who are able to persuade their audience, right? Like Taylor Swift is somebody they constantly use. You don't think there's multiples? Or Katy Perry? I mean, we've seen Katy Perry on stage literally glitching. Okay, you don't think there's multiples? Of course there are. You can even see most of these people when they talk, their brains are fried. I mean, look no further than the current president of the United States, right? I mean, look at pictures of him from 10 years ago to now and tell me that's the same guy. Do you want to say he got, plastic surgery or he's not aging well? I mean, he can't even complete a sentence. It sounds like a malfunctioning computer. So I thought all these things were worthwhile. I wouldn't have covered Jamie Foxx again because I originally covered Jamie Foxx because people, well, number one, Jamie Foxx got very, very sick, and we all know why. And then number two, a lot of people were saying it wasn't the real Jamie Foxx, so I wanted to use that to show that he's in a movie about cloning. And of course, Jamie Foxx is, not the only, well, Jamie Foxx is in a movie about cloning, and then Jamie Foxx actually is interviewed after all these things happen. The first time he's interviewed, he comes out and he says, I can't believe it. People are saying I'm cloned. Very suspicious, if you ask me. That's called the art of deflection in some senses. Bringing attention to these things. They bring attention to these things when they're guilty most of the time. Why? Because then they can start deflecting and making all these types of things sound like crazy conspiracies. Like, oh, Jamie Foxx addressed that already. That's not true. I don't know. His complexion looks a little bit different. But in the long run, what matters most is people understand. They need to understand that our government has this type of technology and are capable of these things. And a lot of these clones are around us all the time, okay, in positions of power, in positions of celebrity, because their jobs are to influence. So they need these people so they can continue to be influencers for future generations, for current generations. Jamie Foxx has a big following. He's very, very popular. And, most of these guys are, unfortunately. I don't know why, or, what people actually think, that these people are their friends, because that's part of the mind control that's going on. They literally think that celebrities are their friends. They talk and post on their social media as if these people are actually reading or going to respond back or invite them out to dinner. But that's the psychotic world that we live in. So interesting stuff to know with Jamie Foxx's movie, of course, about cloning. And then there's also another movie that he just came out with, which actually exposes the occult. So while people are talking about Sounds of Freedom, no one's made mention of this other movie where children are abducted by a satanic cult, and Jamie Foxx is in that film. I thought it was interesting that that's gotten no attention. And like I said before, that's because they don't want to bring in any ties to Satanism. So we'll see where this whole thing is going, if they're actually going to continue to play at the audience about him being cloned. I'm sure people out there will just be like, he's just doing it as a marketing publicity stunt because he's in a movie about cloning. Don't mind the fact that he doesn't really look like the same guy. I thank everyone for being here. Reminder, check out my other two YouTube channels. They are linked below. Please subscribe to them if you haven't yet. Again, one more strike. I will not be able to upload here for 2 weeks. Another strike after that, this channel will be completely gone, and we'll sever ties with each other if you don't sub to the other channels, because you'll never be able to find me. So please do that now. I thank you guys for being here. God bless all of you as always, and your families.